January sales are on, and 13-goal Michael Boulding's attracting admiring glances. Grimsby against Division 2 leaders Plymouth is our main match. Sheffield United's Pesky Solido gives Gillingham the runaround. They've lost their chairman, but they've won 3 points. Bradford stun leaders Norwich. And good news for our promotion-chasing sides in Division 3. Leo gets the lion's share for Doncaster. Michael Boulding's goals are helping the Mariners stay afloat in Division 2.
Time is come, and they said it would never come for you. Oh, my friends, you haven't changed.
But after relegation last season, Grimsby have found it difficult to achieve the sort of consistency that some of their fans expect. Despite that, Boulding and midfielder Alan Poughton are thought to be attracting interest from other clubs.
There's always going to be speculation in and around the transfer window, and I think you know, the two players that have been mentioned in Alan Poughton and Michael Boulding. I mean, Michael's scoring goals every other game roughly on average, and Alan's just come back from injury and mainly he's been playing in the First Division and more than holding his own in there. So that's only natural that that players of that calibre are going to get mentioned.
If the team's not doing well, the manager's going to be under pressure. But I think it's up to the players, you know, because you know, Paul and Graham, they are a great team, and you know, I think the players have probably been letting them down a little bit of late. So you know, I think they deserve better from us.
Despite some high points like playoff victory at Wembley in '98 and a memorable evening in Liverpool a couple of years ago, Town fans have long had to endure being the butt of many a joke.
As a Town fan, you get used to being the butt really, and it's something you learn to live with. It's just the stereotypical thing, have a go at Grimsby. But we have a go ourselves, and we like to take the mickey out of ourselves.
Yes, it's become a way of life for Jim, who's the cartoonist for fanzine Sing When We're Fishing. He reckons even club officials see the funny side these days.
The club's mellowed now, and I think it wants fans to be involved, and it wholeheartedly sort of likes people to be involved and even take the mickey, if you like.
So much so that he was asked to design the club's Christmas card and the programme cover for the game at Wrexham. Sadly, it turned out to be a wet weekend in Grimsby. The game was called off. Opponents this weekend at Paul Sturrock's table-topping Plymouth, who last week crashed 7 past Chesterfield. Could it mean even more pressure then for Grimsby boss Paul Groves?
You're in a job where results are what you're judged on, and if you don't get results, then obviously you're going to be under pressure, and that's just something that you have to live with. Like you say, the circumstances that go with the club and the financial issues, they're not an issue obviously for the fans. They want to see the club win games, and if you don't and you don't get results, then obviously the manager's the one that bears the brunt of it.
Well, Groves included himself in the Mariners' starting lineup. It's Grimsby Town against Division 2 leaders Plymouth Argyle.
Well, this is the first match of 2004 at Blundell Park, and please don't adjust your sense. Plymouth Argyle really are wearing orange shirts and green shorts, and the Green Army looks very limited today. It's a long journey, of course. And Grimsby had been expecting around 2,000 Argyle fans to make the trip here. Looks to me as though they're about 500. And as an attack involving Mansaram straight away for Grimsby, and he's worked well inside the area and got a cross in against the divisional leaders. So important Grimsby start well in this one. They've not been in the best of form. Plymouth certainly are. Referee Evans took his time and then decided that that was worth a free kick. Graham Rodger is the assistant to Paul Groves, and he was on there about talking, and communication is a big part of this match. Well, he's here bowling in, his pace might get him through, down he goes. The referee, I don't think was certain, he did have a very good view of that. Bowling, to his credit, got up immediately. And now Barnard will put a cross in, but it's an easy one for Coughlan to deal with. Well, plenty of booing around Blundell Park, but they always think they should get penalties. Michael Boulding sandwiched in between two defenders there. Phillips, useful ball, Evans header! Oh, how close was that? A flick of the head from Mickey Evans, who was so disappointed last week, sent it forward and not among the scorers in a 7-0 win. Here a little flick on the end of a Phillips ball in, and it misses the uprights by a foot and no more. Throws back up, Mansham coming back from an offside position. This is Michael Boulding, and McCormack, a strange clearance to say the least, only gets it to Poughton. The crowd are trying to encourage Grimsby forward to get a shot in on that Plymouth Argyle goal. There haven't been many. They had a decent chance there, especially when the ball was at the foot of Michael Boulding, and he slashed it across hard and low. It's Boulding to the end of a Groves ball. Experience there playing a part in Coughlan's good defending. And a foul by Mickey Evans, free kick for Grimsby. Well, it looks like it's going to be 0-0 at half-time. We're virtually through the 2 minutes of added time as Barnard lifts a free kick up there. And Poughton, oh, a real chance here, and it's gone wide for the corner kick. What an opportunity for Boulding. The ball landed beautifully at his foot, and he seemed to hit it in the right direction, but the deflection just took the sting out of it, and the ball looped up in the air, and with the goalkeeper anxious to say the least, it drifted wide. Here is Lowndes now. He'll try and tee something up maybe. He'll certainly ask Capaldi to do that. And here is Capaldi's cross. Evans was flying in to meet it and was covered by Barnard to win the corner. Grimsby have 8 back. We'll try and make sure Argyle don't score. Oh, it's out from underneath the crossbar, literally. That was a dangerous one from Capaldi. And a pat on the back, I think, for Alan Poughton, who was the one there beneath the crossbar. He literally squeezed it up and over to safety. Anderson stroked forward. And another scything challenge here. And Plymouth are gradually losing their rag. And there can be no excuse for Capaldi there. It's a Darren Barnard corner, free kick, I fancy. Left-footed, yes it is. From Barnard it goes! Oh, off the upright! So unlucky there for Phil Jevons. It was an excellent header from Jevons, rising to meet Barnard's swinging free kick, and he got up and headed the ball well wide of the keeper. He had no hope, and it cannoned off the base of the post. Jevons, another decent effort as well. He's suddenly come to life, there's no doubt about that. Phil Jevons pings in the shot and getting down to his right, McCormack effects the stop. Where will this one land? It lands for Lowndes. He'll drop it down here. It's Hodges. It's wide. As good a chance as we've seen for either team in the second half. And Nathan Lowndes, the former Leeds United man, got up well there as the ball looped across to him, knocked it down so invitingly to Lee Hodges. He had all the time in the world and popped it wide. Poughton manages to squeeze a pass away to Young, the Doncaster-born defender, who gallops forward here. He's done well, Greg Young, and still he does well, and Grimsby have a corner. Well, good enthusiasm there from Young, the Doncaster man, by birth. And it's a Grimsby corner kick in the last minute of the added time. Paul Groves has his arms raised. He wants the ball in there. Ife Onyora will want it too, but it's Coughlin who wins it. Pountney has it now, goes for goal, and just like every other attempt today, it missed. It's the first goalless draw of the season at Blundell Park. Grimsby will be the happier of the two, though, because at least they put behind them the misery of that performance at Wickham a week ago. So it's Grimsby 0, Plymouth 0.
Got to give credit to Grimsby. I thought they played very well over the 90 minutes, and I'm sure the fans and supporters might think they should have got maybe a bit more out of the game.
Paul, that was the sort of performance that suggested you wanted to get last week out of your system.
Yeah, true. And I think we needed to after what we served up last week. I'd just like to say a big thank you to the fans today. Been a tough week for us, and you know, they've stuck with us this week, and it's been tremendous.
So no goals for the Blundell Park faithful, but there are more than 30 coming up in part 2. We'll see you after the break.
What's that noise? There it is again. Careful.
Fancy another? Yeah. Can't hurt, can it?
Michael!
Only Nicorette offers a 16-hour patch, so you can beat cigarettes all day without nicotine disturbing your sleep at night. Beat cigarettes one at a time. You're twice as likely to succeed with Nicorette's 16-hour patch.
What is the main reason you play in a National Lottery syndicate?
It's not really about the money, not for us anyway.
The main reason we do it is because it supports good causes.
Since we started doing the syndicate, it's just bred a lot more love.
We hug a lot.
We do have group hugs. So do you really notice a difference?
Yes, I think...
So you didn't know that syndicates win 1 in 4 lotto jackpots?
You're joking, 1 in 4? I didn't know that.
Play for the love of it or for the money. Manage a syndicate simply at nationallottery.co.uk.
Working down pit has left me with a lot of memories and a bad chest. Thousands of miners of the family still haven't claimed compensation. They should, and it's their right. There's still time. This industry gave us a living but took away our health, and you can't breathe memories. Stake your claim now.
For the facts on miners' compensation, call Rayleigh's Solicitors free on 08000 737 733 or visit the website mineworkersclaims.com.
The less you pay for your holiday, the more you can spend on holiday. With nothing to pay until March and free insurance on summer holidays. You'll get more for your lolly at Lampolin.
When you've got a cold, Vicks Vapor Rub helps you breathe more easily. So you sleep like a baby. Breathe deep, sleep tight.
Mr. Bean's amazing A to Z is packed with all kinds of fascinating facts. Alligators can grow 3,000 teeth in a lifetime. There are puzzles and quizzes to test you. And you get stinky stickers with every issue. Plus a free sticker atlas to keep them in. Mr. Bean's amazing A to Z.
Amazing!
Save up to 60% in the court sale. Plus, with this Silent Night storage divan, there's an extra £200 off. Massive extra savings now on at Courts.
Currently, I have got 3 inches of fat either side of me. That's 6 inches of spare lard I'm carrying around. And a baby.
At least you've got an excuse.
Bad enough losing weight, never mind inches as well.
There's more to life than counting calories. Fat Friends, Wednesday at 9, ITV1.
Hello again. Still to come, the Spireites bounce back from that 7-goal mauling in style. The Tigers get the better of troubled Darlington to go top of the pile in Division 3. And the Terriers make it 4 out of 4 to keep up the pressure on the leaders. But we start our roundup at Carrow Road.
Next to bottom of the table, away to the leaders, the chairman resigns, recipe for defeat. Not likely. Bradford City rolled up their sleeves. The old warrior David Weatherall cleared off the line at one end. And then teenager Simon Francis set up a sweet winning goal, a first for the club for Alan Armstrong. He's on loan from Norwich's fierce rivals Ipswich. Talk about adding insult to injury. And what a win for Bradford City.
And what a first half at Ninian Park. A 5-goal thriller kick-started in the 3rd minute when Stuart Talbot was on hand to bundle the ball over the line after a goalmouth scramble. 6 minutes later, the Millers added a second. A neat turn by Richie Barker and an astute pass found John Mullin arriving with intent. And that should have been that. Rotherham looking good for a 4th away win on the trot in the league. But those who'd written Cardiff off reckoned without some dreadful defending. Guy Branston lost Peter Thorne in the box. 2-1, and the Millers' defence was all at sea on the half hour. Thorne escaped their attentions again to head Reece Weston's cross back for Graham Kavanagh to lash in the equaliser. And on the stroke of half-time, the division's leading goal scorer, Robert Earnshaw, evaded Branston and keeper Mike Pollett, kept his feet and his nerve to make it 3-2. Ronnie Moore turned the air blue as half-time, but it made no difference.
The combined ages of Wayne Allison and Paul Pescasolido add up to 67, but they played like a couple of excited teenagers at Gillingham, teaming up to give United the lead before half-time. The Canadian international comes off the subs bench to grab most of his goals these days, but given a starting chance, he grabbed it with both hands, nodding in his second on 58 minutes. And then completing a notable hat-trick 8 minutes later after another fine contribution from Allison, the Blades' 6th away win of the campaign. A vital one too, it pushed them ahead of Sunderland, who'd beaten Nottingham Forest earlier in the day, and to within 2 points of West Bromwich Albion, who won on Friday night against Walsall. Bradford's win, coupled with Wimbledon's loss at Crewe and Derby's defeat at Stoke, gave the Bantams an inkling of hope. Rotherham are 4 points away from the top half of the table.
What a strange game football can be. Last week, Chesterfield's defenders were shipping 7 goals at Plymouth. Yesterday at Saltergate, it was the defenders who scored the vital goals. Steve Blatherwick got the first with a looping header. All the goals came in the last 20 minutes. Wrexham equalised in the 77th through former Spurs striker Chris Armstrong, who'd just come off the bench. Spireites fans were probably fearing the worst, but 4 minutes from time, Jamie McMaster, on loan from Leeds, turned a cross into the path of centre-half Ian Evatt, who scored with some aplomb.
Another massive Hillsborough crowd, the best in the division by over 15,000, might have feared the worst when the much-travelled Tommy Mooney curled in an excellent Swindon goal just after half-time. But Wednesday are showing a little more resolve these days and deserved the point they won when Derek Geary's cross was headed firmly in by Mark Robbins, the former Rotherham man's second goal for the Owls. Swindon 7th in the table nearly claimed maximum points, but Andy Gurney's effort was superbly cleared off the line by Steve Haslam, but more points dropped by the Owls.
Yes, we do need to win and pick up the 3 points, but I feel that over the last 4, 5, 6 matches and the periods in between each game within the football club, that we are starting to show signs of starting to come back.
Barnsley had won their last 2 away games, but it wasn't looking good down at Layer Road when Sasha Illich somehow dived over the top of the through ball to leave Wayne Andrews in the clear. It took Barnsley till 11 minutes from time to get back on level terms. Kevin Betsy with a clinical finish for his 8th goal of the season. And then the game, mundane till then, came to life. Betsy was put through again, and Carl Duguid was judged to have brought him down. Contact, if any, looked minimal, but Duguid still saw red. After that, there was only one side in it, but Barnsley couldn't quite force the winner. Simon Brown denying Lee Crooks at the death. One apiece. Well, Barnsley stay fourth, but with QPR winning, they're now 10 points off an automatic promotion place. Plenty of draws around in Division 2 yesterday. Only QPR and Bristol City at the top 6 actually won. It's as you were for Wednesday in Grimsby. Wednesday 6 points off the playoffs, 7 points off the relegation zone. But Chesterfield's victory gives them renewed hope of a second great escape.
Lincoln did Hull a huge favour by bringing back a point from morning leaders Oxford, and they might have had all three if Gary Fletcher had been able to crown a surging run with a slightly better finish. Oxford's most recent recruit, Richie Ferran from Carlisle, was close to snatching victory for them with a header that came back off a post.
These are difficult times for Darlington, in administration and in the bottom 2 of the league as well, so the last thing they wanted was a visit from resurgent Hull, who looked to have taken the lead early on. Stuart Elliott denied though by a linesman's flag. But the goal that settled it wasn't long in coming. Jamie Forrester missed Jason Price's cross. Elliott didn't. Hull back to the top of the table, Darlington in even bigger bother.
How Rovers and Lee of Fortune West in particular must wish they could play Leyton Orient every week. They've scored 8 goals in 2 victories, and the man who looks as though he could be a heavyweight boxer has knocked 5 of them. The first yesterday after excellent work by Michael McIndoe. The second was another tap-in, courtesy of Greg Blundell's considerable assist this time. And Orient chairman Barry Hearn's afternoon had been ruined by the 18th minute as Fortune West secured one of the season's quickest hat-tricks in the Football League. Blundell, also a scorer at Brisbane Road on the opening day of the season, got in the act again with his 4th goal in 5 games, reward for a hard-working performance. And after back-to-back defeats, Rovers bounced back in style. A 5-goal romp completed after that shocking clearance by the keeper by substitute Peter Hines. The man who delivered the knockout blows even sounded like Chris Eubank.
People are asking questions about our credentials this year in terms of promotion, so we've answered them. Sometimes it's easier to play away from home. There's less pressure with the crowd, but we've played well home anyway, so why shouldn't that continue?
Disappointed the way we defended, got back to basics today, kept a clean sheet, and obviously the goals are a bonus. So it does, people start to doubt, are you good enough? I suppose the players start to doubt in the crowd, but certainly that's an emphatic way to put into the back of people's minds.
One goal settled matters at Field Mill. It came in the 26th minute. Liam Lawrence sent in the free kick. Rhys Day met it with a bullet header. That's 3 wins in the last 4 league games for the Stags, who stay 4th.
Huddersfield's excellent Christmas has been carried over to the new year, and after a pin table routine in the Cambridge penalty box, they were given a helping hand by Andy Duncan. It was an opportunity not about to be passed up by John Stead, blasting in his 18th goal. Cambridge have now lost 7 times in front of their own fans, and Town's win was just about confirmed 5 minutes from time when Stead set up John Worthington for the 2nd week running. The overhead kick was executed to perfection. It might have been Frank Worthington, and although Cambridge scrambled a consolation through Adam Tan, this was another positive sign for Peter Jackson's improving side.
Since being installed as player boss in the summer, Chris Brass hadn't scored for York. He put that right in the 29th minute, turning in Richard Hope's header from close range. Cue much celebration around Bootham Crescent. Despite that parlous position at the foot of the table, Carlisle had arrived with confidence high after a 4-match unbeaten run, but York clinched a comfortable win with one of the best work goals of the day. 5 men involved in a slick move, finished off clinically by Richard Cooper. 2-0 to York.
The rub of the green is a favourite phrase with football managers, and Scunthorpe didn't get much of it at Bristol. First of all, Steve McLean's free kick ruled out because the referee said he wasn't ready for it. Mr Kettle had United fans boiling again when he ruled that Wayne Graves' shoulder-to-shoulder challenge on Wayne Carlisle was illegal. He awarded a penalty, and he was about as popular as Louis Sahar's agent when he then proceeded to rule out Carlisle's first kick for encroachment. It didn't seem to disturb the scorer of the goal that settled the issue once and for all.
Boston's home form has been something of a worry recently, with only 2 points from their last 3 games at York Street, but once they got the early tonic of a goal from Graham Jones, who capitalised on Paul Ellender's header, they were always on top. Adam Boyd doubled the lead 6 minutes before the break, controlling a difficult ball from Lee Beavers at the second attempt before slotting it past former Hull keeper Steve Wilson. And the Pilgrims then withstood a brief Mac revival, sparked by probably the best goal of the day anywhere yesterday. Colin Little with a glorious strike on the volley. But the points were secured 30 minutes from time when Stuart Douglas, the scorer of 8 goals in the league last season, finally notched his first of the current campaign. It wasn't the end of the action though. Late on, Danny Adams piled in with a dreadful tackle on Boston's Simon Rusk. Just why he looked surprised when he received the red card is a complete mystery. Boston